Good morning, friends. Hey, friends, how are you? Hello, hello. Hey, Karen, good morning. Hey, gang, how are you? Hello, hello. Good, I'm glad you're well. It's actually a nice day here today. It's 35 or so, and I hope you're having some good weather down there too. So I feel like we need it. I don't know why. Maybe it's just always seeming that way these days. So morning, Bonnie. Glad you're here. Hope you're good. Morning, John. Hello, hello. Donna, good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day. Cecile, how are you? Hope you're good too. Great to see everybody. It's a good day. Little life is good mug. Thank you, Sue Lanyon. Great. Hey, Jen. How's that baby? So cute. I hope you guys are doing well. Sharon, good morning to you. Glad you're here. I have to say, it did my heart good to see your face there a few weeks ago. So glad. Good morning, everybody. He's doing well. Oh, that's great. All right. Good morning, everybody. It is the 9th day of February at, at 11:11, and on this the Wednesday year of our Lord 2022, and I'm glad you're here. Glad you're a part of this journey. Glad that you have found your way on to this 11:11. I want to read a little bit about from Hebrews. This is Hebrews 10. This is the book of Hebrews is Peter's book to the people in Jerusalem, and so he's talking about them kind of getting together and what kind of like having faith looks like. And he says this line. He says, and let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. I started liking baseball. I'm not a huge baseball fan, but I started liking baseball when I was probably about um, 8 or 9 years old. And it was because of one, and this may get me removed as pastor of First Congregational Church right here by this admittance, but by watching the New York Yankees play in October, that great season. I still barely understood the game. I was just a little guy, in the '77 World Series. But I can remember it. I was 8 years old at the time, and I remember watching who would become Mr. October, Reggie Jackson, play the game. And I remember the interviews of him simply being as a cocky player could be, and going out there and then producing, of crushing baseballs the way only Babe Ruth used to do, and just playing this magnificent game and this magnificent series. I became a Yankees fan that day. Don't tell anybody. But that, and that is, and Jackson is this incredible figure in baseball. I continue to this day to be a Reggie Jackson fan, even though he passed many years ago. Reggie Jackson had this, he had a great quote about himself, and which was, when asked what his role on the team was, like, what's your job on the New York Yankees? His role on the team, he says, I am the straw that stirs the drink. I love that. I am the straw that stirs the drink. And he was actually brought to the New York Yankees by a guy by the name of Thurman Munson, who was the catcher and the captain. And Thurman Munson was this old school guy. He got a big mustache. He was like a throwback to another era, just tough as nails. And he actually went to Steinbrenner and got Steinbrenner to recruit Jackson, particularly for the team in '76, the year before. And Munson, because Munson said to Steinbrenner, he said, nobody can carry a team like Reggie Jackson. And he would come to the Yankees in '77, and they would hate each other. Like, they would hate each other. The guy who was the straw, Thurman Munson said, yeah, he was the straw who stirs the drink, but he could only stir it badly. Like, that was Thurman Munson's quote about Reggie Jackson. They would, and part of it was because sometime afterwards, what Jackson did is give a just scathing interview about some of the leadership in the Yankees to Sports Magazine. And he would go to apologize to Munson. He'd send another guy over to kind of say, to kind of mend fences. And he says, really, I was misquoted. To which Thurman Munson replied, you were misquoted for 4 pages? They didn't get along for a good part of the year, but later in the year, as time went on, they would actually be able to see each other's importance to the team, and that the team would coalesce. And that's when, again, that part of Jackson being called Mr. October was because that part of Munson and Jackson stirring each other on. Friends, we're not built for this life by ourselves. We are built to be stirred up. We are built to be agitated by those around us. Not simply to be niggled and noodled at, but to be encouraged, to be brought forward, to be lifted up. Hear Peter's words from Hebrews again. He says, let us consider how to stir one another to love and good works. How to stir one another up. I have an invitation to you today, friends. Stir somebody up. Go see somebody, call somebody, shoot them a text. Stir somebody up to love and to goodness. Stir somebody up to be a little better than they might have been otherwise. Stir somebody up and see what happens in your own game of life. See what happens in your own journey of walking. And then when he follows it, do not neglect to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. Now, the day is capitalized, so he's referring to the day of the Lord, that this time that maybe something bad is going to happen, and eventually, friends, something bad is going to happen to all of us. This is a reality. But from the time between that and this, or even maybe we're even in the middle of something bad happening to us. Maybe we're in the middle of the debt being paid, whatever it might be. Maybe we're in the middle of that. Wherever we are, from this time to that, we're called to stir each other up. We're called to engage with one another. We're called to be the straw that stirs the drink. It is one of my favorite descriptions of a ball player ever, and because you can see what that means on a team, that is just this beautiful image. That Reggie Jackson and all of his raw power and all of his bragging and all of the chip on his shoulder that he would walk to the world with, he managed to bring greatness out of himself and greatness out of his team, largely because he stirred them up and he wasn't afraid to be stirred up. It's easy to kind of move through a world and not get things stirred up. It's easy to try and keep things at an edge, keep things somehow outside of the realm of things. But I want to invite you to be stirred up today. I want to invite you to get stirred up. Uh, the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago. This is a hard shift, so stay with me here. The 1893 World's Fair in Chicago was perhaps one of the most miraculous things the nation's ever seen. There were white buildings. There was to as far as the eye could see, there was the first Ferris wheel. There was some of the first electric lights ever displayed. There was incredible. There were the number of firsts in the 1893 World's Fair is unrivaled by any other gathering in humanity. Millions of people came to see what would happen there. The architect of that, the guy who built it, was a guy by the name of Daniel Burnham. Daniel Burnham was an architect, and he laid out, and it would actually become the blueprint for the very city of Chicago, the way he would lay this out. And he said this. He said, "Make no little plans. They have no magic to stir men's blood, and probably themselves will not be realized." Stir your neighbor, friends. Stir one another with great plans. Stir one another with your fellowship and your coming together. Stir one another up. Stir one another up. You know, we're in this world of so often of insults or imagined insults or correctness or wokeness or whatever you want to call it. However we might perceive the insults of our days. But I want to invite you today to turn that on its head, and that instead of being one who might stir the world up in agitation, but that we might stir it up towards goodness and towards love. And some may receive it, some may not. That's not on you. But like Reggie Jackson, be the straw that stirs the drink. I want to invite you today. Actually, and part of this is by invitation. That tonight we have here at First Congregational Church, we have our all church family night. So if you're part of the church, this isn't just for families. That the families are invited because we have offerings for kids, but it's for everybody in the church, everybody who wants to be a part of the church, everybody who's interested in hanging out with us. We have tonight at 5:30. We're going to gather right here. We're going to have dinner together. We have lasagna on the menu. It's a really good lasagna, solid, some garlic bread, great stuff. So we're going to have dinner. You don't have to bring anything. It's all provided for you. Going to eat. We'll have a little time together, and then we'll have a teaching. We're going to talk about some stuff. We've got a little video we're going to watch and discuss, and then you'll be out the door by 7 o'clock. That you have a chance to come together and be stirred up. Don't get in the habit. We're so in the habit after all these years. You know, I saw the governor today had just signed the order to eliminate masking in schools on the 28th of February. Friends, we've been missing people's faces. We've been, and whatever level you've been engaged in any of that, and on over these times, we've been separated for all manner of reasons. Stop being separate. Stir people up. Stir people up with your presence. Stir people up with your goodness. Stir them to goodness. Stir them to grace. Stir them to fellowship. Stir them to life. Be like Reggie Jackson today, and be the straw that stirs the drink. Because sometimes, as our failure to be stirred up is a little like us just making small plans, us just being in the smallness of the world and the smallness of life, and that it's actually great plans. It's actually big things that are inspired for one another and with one another. The 1893 World's Fair doesn't matter if the millions of people don't show up. The 1977 World Series against the Dodgers, Mr. October doesn't matter if the rabid Yankees and Dodgers fans don't show up to appreciate and to watch and to be a part of it. Friends, stir it up. Stir it up today. Stir someone up. Stir yourself up if you find yourself in there, and swing for the upper decks. Don't let your life be a part of these little plans, but reach out to big things that you might know the magic in them, and that they might be realized things beyond what you can know and do. I think Peter's words are more applicable for us now than ever. Let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. Friends, the day draws near. Come and spend some time with us tonight and be stirred up. Come and reach out to someone in your life and stir them up. Be the straw that stirs the drink. Maybe shoot for a great goal in your life, that you might be stirred up into the magic of all that can happen when we call upon the Holy Spirit in our lives. This is my hope for you today, friends. This is my hope on this 11/11. This is my hope for you on this Wednesday. Stir it up. Peace and grace. We'll pick it up tomorrow with another 11/11.